Hi everyone, and it's just me tonight, I'm afraid, because Jane's not very well. She's got a bit of flu. It's only girly flu, so there's nothing to worry about. It's not the dangerous man flu that's out there, so she's perfectly all right. But unfortunately, it's going to just be me tonight, guys. So you'll have the pleasure of just my company. I'll do a bit of clairvoyance probably tonight. It's a bit more difficult when we've been rushing around again because we were stuck behind a 10-mile-an-hour driver all the way here tonight, so I haven't had the time to tune in. But if I do feel sort of inclined, again, I'll do a little bit of clairvoyance for you. We've got a couple of patrons, I think, coming in online as well. So again, have some questions for me, and then, you know, if I feel I want to sort of do something with you on a clairvoyant level, I'll do that as well. You know, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, let's say a few hellos then first to who's coming in, and you know, thoughts to Jane as well, of course, I'm sure. Here we go. Hello, a big hello from Catherine, Donegal, Ireland. Nice to see you, Catherine. And hi, Craig and Jane. Well, hi, Craig. Hello from Liverpool. Nice to see you, Elaine. And good evening from Elvesta, Sweden. Okay, me and Jane have been watching these Viking programs on telly on Prime. So I've got a head full of Vikings. A head full of Vikings. Maybe I'll pick something up for those of you in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. And Kimberly Langford, feeling better soon, Jane, you'll miss. She is watching the show, so she knows that. And at the end of the show, I'm going to do a little healing thing. I've got a little healing video, and I'll explain about that in a moment when in a few minutes as well. Just a couple more hellos. Hi, Craig from Sheffield, UK, from Helen. Hi there, Helen. And hello, Craig from Gloucester, UK, Joanne. Great. Well, lots of you from the UK here today. So, yeah, right at the end of the show, we're going to put a little healing moment, because I think we've been thinking about this show and how to sort of develop it a bit, really, because I know that you guys like the clairvoyance. I know a lot of you also like the questions and answers. So why don't we just bring the whole lot together and bring that whole lot together, and you can ask me questions and then we can go off into clairvoyance as well. And also, if you're watching too, I think it's really quite important to interact with the program in any way you can. So if you, for example, if there's somebody you would like remembrance for afterward the show, just type it into the comments later on and say, I'd like to remember so-and-so. Now, I'm not going to go into those links, but it just means that the spirit world are connecting with us. And at the end, if there's anybody who would like spiritual healing to go to, we're going to be connecting together and sending healing out. So this will become partly, at the end of the show, a bit of a healing channel. So we're trying to sort of take it up a notch spiritually for you in many ways. And so we've got the interest of the questions and answers. We've got a bit of interest from the clairvoyance. I can put a little video in the middle as well. Maybe we'll do that tonight. I've got one there possibly, but we'll see how we go. And like I say, interact with it. Put the names of people you'd like to be remembered at the end, whether they're in the spirit world already or whether they're people that are struggling here and need some healing thoughts. And people from my healing list, of course, I'll be thinking of them too when we do the absent healing, which is a very powerful thing, actually, absent healing, because you know, you may think, oh, how does it work? But if we send out healing thoughts to people, those thoughts are things. Those thoughts are an energy. Those thoughts have vibration, have power to them. And I believe the spirit world also connect with those thoughts and help channel the great universal healing to people, you know? So healing can become a very powerful form of energy. And the important thing, if you ever are healing or ever sending out healing thoughts, it's always important to not think of the illness, to think only of the wellness, because this is how healing works. We need to send, because you could send negative thoughts to somebody by thinking bad of them, and they work in a similar way. They're like a curse, but a healing could be like a prayer. So what we have to do is always, when we heal, is to think in positive ways, to think with, see the person as well, see their faces bright and cheerful. Don't think, oh my God, they got that horrible illness, and think about that. No, that's gone. You always think about them in a positive way. And that works with people, and it also works for yourself as well, you know, because we can make ourselves ill or well depending on how we react to it. You can make something much, much worse, can't we, by if we dwell upon it. Or we can make things much, much easier, and it's amazing. The body responds and will react and get well if we think well. So we can do it for ourselves, and we can do it for other people as well. And that's the way healing works, and it's a very, very powerful thing. So, okay, let's take a question or two first, just to get things going. Any thoughts anybody like to do? Do our loved ones in the spirit, in the beyond, or in the spirit world still need healing? That's a good question. Now, I think when a person first goes over to the spirit world, I think it's good to send them positive thoughts, because they're being bombarded. You imagine you get into the spirit world and you're being bombarded by all this grief. Oh, you've lost you, we're so sorry. They're thoughts of love, of course they are, but at the same time, they're quite strong thoughts, aren't they? They're quite powerful things. And I think when someone first steps into the spirit world, they're still very much partly on the vibration of this world here. So our thoughts are very close to them. And similarly, that's why they can do things like maybe stop a clock, or maybe move something, or actually show themselves in those last moments before they step fully into the spirit world, because their vibration, their astral form too, is still resonating with the earthly plane. So in a way, when they first move into the spirit, the best healing thought you can give to them is thoughts of happiness, thoughts of joy, thoughts of you've been freed, you're free of the pain, you're free of this life, you're free of the karma for now, you're free of the suffering of human existence, which I suppose it is up to quite a large point. Those things help, and that's why people do rituals often at that time. You know, in India they will do ritualistic ceremonies to help the dead progress. Similarly, in all cultures we kind of do that, and the funeral service is also similar to that. But once they're in the spirit, no, they're free of all physical illness, of course, free of all physical ailments, and also free of psychological ailments as well. And they talk about, Pammy, that in the spirit world there's a place they call the halls of healing. And, you know, this is often portrayed as being like an actual physical place where people can go to be healed. And I remember some of the people I've known had gone to the spirit and then have come back. One friend of mine committed suicide and burnt himself to death. And he came through the medium and spoke to me through the medium. Remarkable evidence that medium gave to prove it was him too. And he said to me he'd been to the halls of healing and was now clear of both the psychological problem he had, because he was suffering from what we would have called then schizophrenia, but and also from the terrible pain that he went when he left. And it was quite reassuring that. When I connected to my gran in spirit, she said she went for healing and then met family. Yeah, your gran, Pammy, I get the sense. I get the sense she was a very cheerful lady, your gran. I don't feel a big build with her. I feel somebody that was quite, and very special eyes. I don't know if she had very blue eyes, I'm feeling with her. And I sense with her, I feel she had a condition that sort of gradually took her too. I don't feel like I've got a quick passing with this. I feel that I suffered a bit at the end, and she tried to remain cheerful. And I get a feeling, Pammy, as well, perhaps you can type in and confirm some of these things for me, please. I get a very strong traditional religious sense with her too. A strong traditional religious sense with her. And she said something to me about that when she went over, I don't know whether it was her pet or something, or somebody's pet, because I think it's a dog, went over very similar time to her, either just before she passed or just after she passed. I feel as if there was a pet, a close pet that your gran would have known about, when she went to the spirit. So if you can type an answer into that for me, Pammy, if I'm right or wrong with these things. Obviously it's not easy, and I can even take other questions while we're waiting for Pammy's response, and I'll see if I can get back to you, Pammy, with that. But let me know, am I right, am I wrong with what I'm getting here? Because I get this very expressive eyes with your gran, and quite a cheeky sort of face, I want to say. When I say cheeky, I feel like my cheeks are high cheekbones here too. Joanne Smith, it must be very emotional when you cross over and seeing all of the loved ones. It must be. When we go to the spirit world, we retain our memory, we retain our personality, and that's what we mediums try to do to prove the continuation of the personality after death. But we take with us all our memories from what I've observed from, you know, communications that have come through, and also within spiritualism. You know, we've had many thousands of communications from people in the spirit world. So we keep all our memories, we keep all our feelings, and we keep our emotions. Even though emotions are a chemical thing within our body, really, we still have an emotional feeling. But when we actually do get over there, there's a certain sort of, how can you say, transcendentalness to one's consciousness, that you're kind of also got those things, but you're kind of above it, because the spirit itself, your pure spirit, is actually free of emotion. It's transcendent of joy and woe. It's beyond those things. And so I think it's a mixed bag. I think you will, particularly at the passing time. It's very interesting because I've had messages come through, particularly when I'm demonstrating in spiritualist church, because I did that, Jane and I, we did it for years and years and years, 30 years of demonstrating in spiritualist churches. When people say, you guys are all in it for the money, I think, my God, we did 30 years for nothing, not a penny, you know. But some of the most pure messages would come through at those times. And I remember a number coming through. A couple of times we had people who were actually in the funeral parlour as the communication is taking place. So the people, for example, have just come from the funeral parlour, and I remember talking about this man, I was joking away, and he's having a laugh, and he's giving them all lots of evidence and proof. And I said, he's showing himself being shaven. He's shaving me. They're shaving me, I said. And she said, well, we just come from the morgue and they're shaving him as we speak. They said, we're going to shave his body. And he was joking about it. So he couldn't have been that distressed, could he? Because he was coming through with great joy and things like that. Have we got a response from Pammy yet? Oh, great. Yes, she knew she was dying of cancer, so it did deteriorate her body then, that's right. And it didn't tell her family because we were dealing with my mum's cancer. My gran died later that year. Mum passed away in January. My gran went that November. She talked about an animal though. I mean, I don't think you should call your mum an animal, would she? But perhaps she was talking about a close passing at the same time. But I felt as if she talks about a pet that went at the same time. That's what she wanted to give as part of the evidence there. Can you confirm or deny that, Pammy? Did your mum love music? Did your mum actually sing, or did Gran sing? I want to sing. I feel I want to sing. So I'm getting this feeling of singing with this as well. I feel like a love of music, but also a voice. Not particularly good voice necessarily, but I feel love to sing. And someone's talking about we had 2 gardens. And houses have a front and a back garden, but it's not like that. I'm feeling I've got 2 gardens. What does that mean? Does that mean something to you, Pammy? Or is this for somebody else? Something about 2 gardens I'm getting here. I think I'm with you still, Pammy, but I might have slipped into somebody else here, because I'm getting something about we had a house with 2 separate gardens. They were divided, but they were divided in such a way that there were definitely 2 plots with 2 different entrances to them. I think I'm on to someone else here. It might be with you, Pammy. Let me know as soon as you can, if you can. But I get something about the 2 gardens, because they would have been separated. I don't know if they're on 2 sides of the road, or there was some division between them that was a serious division. Okay. Okay, 3 gardens, multiple gardens, because I see sis. Okay, let's just see if it might be with you, sis. Let's see, because Very cheerful lady, obviously because she sings as well. But I get the feeling. Tell me if I'm right with this, sis. Here, if it's with you, because I get the feeling your mum also believed in what I'm doing here. She liked all this type of thing. I feel that she would have gone to see a tarot reader, and she would have done that sort of thing in the days before people really did that. You know, because only in recent years it's become popular. But I feel that she was interested in that type of thing, and I'm seeing something about someone connected in your family, sis. It wasn't necessarily mum that's given this, but there was somebody she talks about that went over, a younger person with her, who had an accident of some sort. I'm seeing something here like it feels like there might have been a car accident, a vehicle accident of some sort. Can you confirm on that if that's with you, sis? I'm doing 2 links at the same time here, but let's see where we go with this. Something about a vehicle accident. And that for the connection that goes with those 3 gardens, or the 2 gardens business I was seeing here. Can we see? It's going to be quite difficult for poor old Matt. You're Sarah, by the way. Okay, Sarah. Not mum, that's me. Okay, that was right. She was Catholic, all right, so she would probably struggle with this a little bit, but she might have liked our recent little yes, Michelle. That's who went age 13, because I said it was young. Good, because it was the car accident. Okay, good. So that's she wants to talk about that, I think, because she's saying about that because of the loss, the obviously the tragedy of what happened there. And I don't know if you know someone recently. This isn't a connection in your family, and it's definitely not a prediction or anything, but she's talking about somebody who also has lost somebody in an accident of some sort. It might have been one of those scooter things or something that she's talking about here, and that you know recently who had either injured themselves or lost somebody. It might have been someone connected that you're kind of a friend with, might be something on a person you know on the sort of thing like a school run or something, because she's talking about somebody else also lost somebody. And you can take so Pammy, I've got 2 links with the similar stuff. Okay, all right, that's going to get complicated. This does happen sometime, 2 similar links at the same time. Okay, and you understand that. I'll keep calling you sis because I have to try to remember names like Sarah and things like that. It'll go out my mind because my mind gets very fluid, almost like you get almost a bit stupid when you do this. You can't remember things, even as you're speaking. It's like something happens to your short-term memory. Okay, so so it looks like both apply. What was the name? Pammy. I'm with both of you at the same time. I've got 2 here because I've got 2 ladies. They distinguish themselves. Pammy, the lady that you're talking about, I feel a smaller build, and also with Sis, as I'm going to keep calling you, I feel the lady we've been describing for you, the difference is she's a bigger build lady. She's a more comfortable build. Can you confirm, Pammy, was she thin, the lady that I've been connecting with, and Sis, can I say she was a bit more comfortable build? And there's also connections with your Sis. I feel as if there's an accent of some sort too, because I feel as if I have a strong regional accent with her. So Sis is the small one. Okay. What was the other lady's name? I lose it. Was your lady the larger one? Because I just feel there's a difference in their build here with me here. Then I can distinguish them. Still waiting. So I think I'm going to get confused here. This does happen quite often when you're doing links on the theatre, or in the platform, as it was called in the spiritualism. It's easier to sort it out because we can then get people interacting at the same. The lag is a bit difficult. Good. Okay. So okay. So I've got the larger lady, the small lady. All right. I might do both your readings at the same time, if you don't mind. So the larger lady's coming in. So that's for Pammy at the moment. Pammy, she says to me, I don't know if she's had. somebody has had hearing problems recently. I don't know if you or someone in your family's just been going for hearing tests, because she's talking about hearing issues. These are nothing to worry about. These are just little markers that I want to talk about here. And she's talking about, I keep getting something about somewhere that feels up north in the world, like I'm high up in, I'm going to somewhere that has pine trees, something significant with pine trees. It looks like somewhere like Sweden or Canada or something like that. Is that something significant for you, Pammy? Have you been thinking about going somewhere like that, or just been somewhere like that on a holiday or something? Because I'm seeing the pine trees. There's something about a log cabin. And meanwhile, I also want to talk about journeys, but this time on Sis's side, I want to talk about somebody that's talking to me about France with you, and is significant with yours with France. Doing two links at the same time. This is an odd thing to do, but it's interesting. It gets interesting. But you've been talking about that, then, I would assume, because it needs to be relevant. You know, it needs to be relevant to that. And what about Sis? What's that thing with France that I'm getting here? I saw as I'm drinking the water here, I'm tasting wine. So I don't know if there's something to do with wine tasting. Okay, we got yours, Pammy. We cleared yours. Let's just do your link first, Pammy, just to finish with you actually now, because these can't become full-on private readings because they get too... I just want to say with you, Pammy, I feel there's something issue about a home, and there's some issue about wanting to move, and this is why I'm seeing the land, because I might be able to sell something about I could sell land separate to house. I feel development, and I'm getting a feeling of wanting to do some change of residence and home or something like that. And I get a feeling that this has been held back for a long time, and I want to give a thumbs up to this. I want to say that this is something that's worth considering, and I feel that it's going to be important to you. And yes, I feel this is something you've been questioning, and I want to say yes, we can do it. All right. And on Sis, are you still there? That business about the wine I'm getting here. Something about wine. I want to drink wine. Yes, my cousin lives in France. Okay. Are we thinking about going to France too? And she loved the glass of wine in the spirit. Okay, so I think we're getting enough evidence there to prove that we've got the communication. So when we get okay, and you're thinking about the moving as well. All right, might apply to both of you. Got to see two links that seem to have similar things here. But I see about the moving, and I'm seeing something about the, I think my main link seems to be with you, Sis. But I want to say anyway, Sis, that she was a very giggly lady. She's very much fun. She liked to joke. I know she liked the wine, you say, but I also want to say that she was a bit of a joker. I want to say, drunk or not, she's a bit of a joker. And she very witty in her ways as well. And I want to say, there's also another thing I want to say with you. It's very important that you speak out to the world. You don't hold your tongue, but at the same time, don't offend people. So she says to me, humour is a good way of doing that. And she says that she used to get her own way quite a lot because she could say it in a funny sort of way. And that gave her the edge over other people. And she says, I want to say, she's saying that, you know, you've been hoping on a lot of things. The money's been hard to achieve those things, but I get the feeling that something good's going to happen to you soon. And I feel as if I've got some connection with France. I get a feeling you're going to be there. I see you there. So she's saying that's going to be quite important to you, because it's going to be a real emotional break for you from a lot of the stresses that have been around you, particularly with some of the younger ones. All right. So I'm going to leave it there with you, and hopefully you can understand that. But I obviously can't keep with everybody all the time. So let's have another question, completely new. Maybe even one of the videos if we want. If one of the patrons wants to come in, I'd have to get my earphones if we can do that. We do get a few problems. Now the patrons come in through the video link. We got a video link. So if you're interested in becoming on the show on the video, you'd have to become a patron. And the patrons are people that support the channel, allow us to keep this place here going. Have a look in the description of the video below, on the YouTube particularly, or go to the website address, which you can see at the top of the screen there, and you can become a patron, and it helps keep this whole thing going. It helps keep, it means you support us, basically, and say, I love you and Jane's shows. We want to keep seeing it on the internet, you know. You're prepared to give up your time to do these things, we'll help support and keep it going. So always appreciate, and I deeply appreciate all the patrons that have been supporting this site and keeping it going as you have been. So without too much ado, let's see if we can, anybody on the patrons first would like to ask a question. Let's start with a question. Now I'm going to have to hold this. Don't know your names. Right, oops. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
I get bad sound here because I get my own voice coming back, so I've got one ear on. Question?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, this is Maggie. Hi.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi. So I've been through a huge ordeal with being affected by and psychically collecting evidence on corruption in the city of Philadelphia. And it's been a while. I've had to heal a lot from it. But my question is kind of like, okay, the world is a real kind of mess right now. And like, what, you know, do I have some kind of mission or something to do with all this information that I have? And one, I think about writing a book, and then two, you know, I also think about, going to the courts, but all that is so corrupt now. And then just generally for everybody, like, what is our purpose and mission here with this mess that we're living in on this planet?
Well, I would say the only answer to it ultimately has to be a spiritual one. I think we can do our work and we can try to do something about the corruption in the world and the problems in the world, and you know, we can be vocal about it, and we have to do things like vote and things like that. But ultimately, the only way we're ever going to sort the mess out that we're getting into is to take it up to another level. We've got to get on to a level that is much more transcendent of the world, really. We've got to get into this idea that love can change everything. That if we take the attitude of love and we start to act in that way, and start to each of us become a lot more spiritual in the way we act and behave in the world, and we become a lot more caring, I mean, that's the only way we're going to get out of it. Because I don't think there's any real practical solutions to this, because there's been corruption all the time through the world. We've had come into the world, we've had all great masters, we've had Buddha, we've had Jesus, we've had Muhammad, we've had whatever, all of them have come, and we're still in a mess. Right to this moment, the world's still in a mess. But the thing is, it's because we haven't applied the principles that they teach us. And that's what we've all got to do. And I think we worry, all of us worry tremendously about what's going on in the world. You know, these are the things I do on the Coffee with Craig channel, really. And that's more for, that channel's for that. But you know, we look at the world, and can we look at things with a spiritual perspective? And we've got to look at it from a spiritual perspective. Gandhi said, and I think he had it right, he said, be the changes you want to see in the world. Because you're never going to change the world, ultimately. You're going to change it a bit, and we can worry about it and fret about it. But if you become the changes you want to see in the world, that's how things progress. And I particularly think that's going to happen in the years ahead. I think we're on the threshold of a complete reversal of all these things. We're on the threshold of people waking up, awakening, and a mass awakening, not as some person coming in the sky or anything, but one light at a time, each person gradually becoming more spiritual and awakening. I really do believe it will happen, and I think it has to come person by person. If a great being was to come into this world again, another great teacher was to come into this world of extraordinary spiritual power, it wouldn't be like somebody on a stage. It would happen omnipresently. It would happen to each of us one-to-one. It would happen one-to-one in our dreams, one-to-one in our meditations, one-to-one in our inner self. Just the way mediumship works for an individual, where we get messages from the spirit. We would know. And that's where I think the focus should be. As well as doing all the practical things, we mustn't see suffering in the world. We must do what we can. We must do what we can charitably. We must do what we can for the people around us. We must do our part. But ultimately, remember that it's us that count. That's why we're all here. We are, each of us, individually here to awaken, to spiritually progress. And that's my thoughts with that. That's my thoughts with that one. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's take another. Well, I don't need these on now. What have I got those on for? I can hear my own voice in it. It's a problem. Let's have some more from the YouTube next, and then we'll do another video link after that one. So pull something up if you may, Matt, of some of the questions people might have. You can't just ask for messages here, because it's more about. If the messages come through, they come through, and it's not necessarily going to come through when you put a question up, if I get something. Do angels take us before we feel the pain of dying? Very interesting, Precious. And thank you also, Precious, because I recognise, of course, Precious, because Precious was on the show we did on the Fatima Visionaries, and I would suggest you guys go and have a look at that, because it was a really good show, and Precious and others contributed to it some really interesting things. I don't think I could answer that, Precious, because obviously it would be lovely to think that there's no pain at death, but clearly there is. I remember, when my dad was dying, he was in the whole lead up to it was awful with bone cancer, and it's a dreadful dying process sometimes. But I think just at the end, I think just at the, and spirits have said this often through myself and other mediums, because when you bring all these different mediums together, we get some interesting correlations between these things. And I think the very last stages of death, suddenly the pain is gone. I think it's because the astral body is separated or loosens at first from the physical body. So I don't think it's necessarily an angelic thing, although the spirit people come to help us, and the higher spirits, which I suppose you could call angels, come to help us over. But I think a natural loosening happens where we no longer feel the pain of the body. And if you look at near-death experiences that people have spoken about, and I know, Precious, you've had a near-death experience because you came on the Zoom thing the other day and spoke about that, but there's a sort of a release. And many people that have had near-death experiences talk of a release. Now, I'm just going to leave it there with you, Precious, as I want to just, I'm feeling somebody that I don't think it's necessary with you, Precious, but we'll come back if it is. But I've got somebody trying to communicate to me now, and it's for somebody out there. Now, sometimes these are for people that come on later in the show, after we've gone live, which we call advanced clairvoyance, in advance, not advanced, in advance. But I've got a gentleman talking to me here now. He's talking about the name Colin. It might not necessarily be his name. I've got Colin seems to be significant around him. This gentleman has a kind of a roughish sort of voice. He's brusque with his voice. It feels a bit croaky when he speaks. And it would have been like this for him for a long time in his life. The name's Colin, which is not an Irish name, of course, but he tells me there's links around him with Ireland. So I don't know if Colin's a younger person that he wants to reach out to, or it's something connected, but there's strong Irish connections, and also, strangely enough, Yorkshire connections. So I'm getting this mixture of Yorkshire and Irish in the family around him. I don't know if people from Yorkshire married somebody from Ireland or something like this. And he's talking about, we had a black car that was a big long black car that wasn't a hearse but looked like a hearse. So this is weird. This is very weird. But he says there's a car in the family that was a big long thin car that looked a bit like a hearse but wasn't a hearse. And we used to joke about it because it almost get the Ghostbusters feel with this, it's this odd one. So goodness knows who's going to pick this one up. But I can feel this man, and he's a joker because he's very funny. I think he would have an Irish link to him, and because of his humour. Because I feel kind of a bit of funniness with this. He's almost like playing with me here, messing me around, messing my head around as he talks, because of it's his type of humour. And okay, so have we got a link for this? Now you really must put the message in now for this if it is with somebody here with me live, or if you're in the video links, put your hand up to let me know if it's with you. We got an Irishman. He's joking about a car that we had that was a long thin car that people could easily mistake for a hearse, and it was the family links also connect with Ireland and also with Yorkshire for some reason, because I'm getting an Englishy sort of feel of Yorkshireman, like two completely different type of mindsets here. And this is the first part I want to get with the link, right? So he's married. There's Irish, and he's married someone from Irish married to someone from Yorkshire, Yorkshire. Can we place this one? Okay, that makes sense, Jackie. How about this long, strange car? That can you understand anything with that? Love Cars had many cars, and did we have a particularly unusual one? I mean, it strikes me as a long, thin car of some sort. Yeah, ready? It's the gentleman that's communicating with me, and I think he's from Ireland, and he must have been the one that married the lady from the lass from York, because I want to say lass, because he would have said lass from York. Okay, and Jackie, did you also have there been something around where we've had to take a test or an examination or a written test of some sort just recently? You've had to do something like a test of some sort. I don't think it's a car test, but it's because I feel like I've written something. I don't. No, maybe it is that. Are you learning to drive, or someone around you very close learning to drive at the moment? You can say no. Oh, you can place that. Okay, good. So it makes sense, does it to you? There's something unusual. There's some jokiness about this. He was a man that... there's a test, if you can get that typed in, if you can. You don't understand that. Okay. Because I felt as if I wanted to talk about written test of some sort. It might come to you in a minute, if you think, because I feel if it's not with you, it's someone close in your family that's having to do a written test. Don't know if it's a young boy that's doing that at the moment, but I don't want to make it fit, because that sounds like it's making it fit to me. But no, I think it's a younger person he's talking about here. And was there somebody also, he's talking about the pub, right? Now, I don't know if there was somebody in the family somewhere, possibly going back here, that used to run a pub or own a pub. Does that make sense to you, Jackie? Okay, it seems a bit slow getting to Jackie. We might need to move on, I think, because it's not easy answering these. You can imagine people on phones and all sorts, tellies on, things going on around you. But, okay, I think we're losing that. Okay, so that's the test makes sense to you. Good. All right. Okay. Well, let me just and hopefully you can understand that pub bit if you can there, because he was a man that I think liked to drink, and I feel that he's a man that he's given me the message to say that I feel that these were unusual people coming together, Yorkshire and Ireland, and that was the initial thing. But often it's chalk and cheese that works in life, he says. And often in families you get a lot of disruption because people are very different personalities. And he's talking about the importance in the family at the moment of tolerance for one another. So I don't know if there's been a bit of a falling out, And I don't want to get too personal, but he's saying we can't fall out because families have got to be families. And he says, ultimately, we've got to find a way round it. And he's saying that if he was here, he'd be wanting to bang people's heads together, because I just get a feeling there's been a bit of an issue like this. You don't have to give me the details on this because this might be private for you, but he's saying you'll sort it all out. And he says there's nothing like a bit of humour, and there's nothing like everybody sharing a drink together to make it all much better. But he just wanted to come through tonight because I feel that you've been thinking about him, and he wants just to give you a little thumbs up that he's there in the spirit there, reaching out to you, right? So thank you, Jackie, for taking that, and I hope that helps you with the connection. And you'll meet each other on holidays and things like that. Holidays are important to you as 10, because I feel you've got some of that coming up very shortly too. I see a journey, a trip for you that he says is going to be very nice, very good, and it's something that you will help bring you together again. Okay, hope that's helpful to you, Jackie, and I hope that's correct for you. Okay, let's have another look at some of the. Let's see if I can pick something up for somebody in the patrons here and the video links, because that can often be, Jane likes doing them by the video links. So I'm going to see if I can. I don't know who I've got no idea who we've got in there or how many we've got. Hopefully we've got a few people in there. Oops. Precious. That's Precious,
hello,
isn't
Craig.
it? Yeah. Hi, Precious.
Hello.
Okay. Whoops. Sorry about the silly headphones. I hear my own voice a lot of the time for this, so it's difficult if I put both headphones on. Now, I don't know you personally, but you do know. I think you know. Do you know Jane? Have you met Jane?
I've never met her. I've never met either of you, but I would love to.
Oh, okay. All right. It's just I want to
either of you personally.
Okay, it's just important that you're not someone I know. Let's see if I can pick something up for the things I know about you, because you came on the Zoom. I know you're a Catholic. I know you loved all that Fatima things, and you shared some stuff with us. But I don't know anything about your background, do I? I don't know anything.
No.
Okay, so let me just see if I can pick something up for you. Of course, with Catholic people, it's always a bit more difficult.
Not with me, it won't be.
Not
Don't
with
worry
you,
about
but I think your mum. Is your mum on the spirit? Because there's a lady trying to link with me.
No, my mum's not
your
here.
Mum's still with us? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going on mum's side of the family, so I'm probably with grandmother here. Right. Was your gran on mum's side, if you knew her, that is, quite a, how can I say, stubborn sort of lady, I want to say.
She could be, yes.
Yeah. She knew her own mind. I'd feel that she came from quite a difficult background in many ways. I don't feel there was money in the family or anything. It was quite a tough world she came out of.
It was tough for her, yes.
Yeah. She had a difficult life, both materially and also physically, because I feel as if illness kept coming up through her life, both when she was young and when she was old. And she had to fight quite a lot to get by in life, she says to me.
Yes, I think with the illness thing, she did have a tough life, but I think with the illness has surrounded her, because my aunt had a terrible accident when she was just a child, and she lost her leg, and it kind of changed the dynamics.
That's right. It's in a way, it's like illness all around her, but it brought out in her a sort of compassion.
Oh,
that's
yes.
what I'm feeling a sort of compassion with her, because she was kind of a bit. When you first see her, she seems a bit stern, but actually she's quite the opposite to that. She appears that way, if you see what I mean, and because it takes her a little while to trust people.
Oh yes.
But when she does, she's a really compassionate lady. So I'm seeing a mix of a character here with her.
She was lovely.
And she says, I had to move a lot in my life too. I don't feel I'm settled. I feel that I've had to change home a number of times. Because that was a generation where they tended to stay in one place, isn't it?
Yes, I mean the family home. My aunt is still there. She nursed. Well, we all nursed Nan until the end, but it's been the family home for decades. But prior to that, my nan she came down from Warrington. She met my grandfather, whose roots are in Yorkshire, although he's a Londoner. My grandmother was from Lancashire, so you've got a red rose and a white rose.
No, I had that in my family.
But she did move around a lot because of the war. And
Okay.
they had this little prefab house for a while in
Did you
Deptford.
did she have something to do with healing of some sort, like nursing or something too? Because I'm seeing people with a red cross on their arm. Or was the people in the family that had something to do with medical corps in the army?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my aunt about that.
Because there's something about people in the army that were in the medical teams. You know, they got the white armbands on here with the red cross on it.
Well, my uncle was an ex-military man. He became a Chelsea pensioner in the end. He's now crossed over, but I'm not sure if he was in the medical corps.
Yeah, because it's the medical things that I'm seeing. Because I've seen the things like the stretchers and things like that. I'm going right back onto battlefields here. Okay. You can't fully place that, but it's kind of half
Not
place
at the
it.
moment.
Okay. Was she or was it you that was very good at drawing things too?
I love drawing.
Because I'm just seeing
I love drawing
and art and things like this, and you still do it, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and particularly with pencil, I want to see.
I love using the pencil.
Pencils particularly, she says.
Yes.
And when you do drawing, you go into a sort of a little bit of a different sort of state of mind, like a fluid state of mind, you know, like a little bit tuned in, as it were, to the spirit world.
Oh, definitely. I've done spirit.
You get kind of your drawings kind of reflect dreams. And
Yes.
I feel that come straight from your unconscious mind. And she's telling me that you're very connected with your unconscious. I call the dreaming world, the world of Carl Jung and people like that. I'm seeing all this, and quite an interest you must have with that type of thing. I don't know if that's you read a lot about that, and would have, if you had your life over again, you've not done it, I don't think, but you would have loved to have been a therapist of some sort, or have done something with that type of scientific-led therapy.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah. And she was always a great believer in education, the importance of education. You know, she would push people to say because she couldn't do it herself, because she was a very intelligent lady, but was never given the opportunities in life. And
no,
you're quite multiple talented, I feel, because particularly on creative things, because she's talking to me here about drawings and things, but also written word. And I feel almost I want to bring all this together. And you might even publish something one day, because I feel she's saying you want to write too, right? And I'm seeing you almost drawing to plan a book, like I'm doing it in picture form and in mind map form and type of thing. You know, like
that's really strange. You should say that. You know, it is something I'd love to do,
and it's something that she's encouraging. Because I feel it's something that it's been coming out of it. It's like coming out of your unconscious mind, I feel here. You know, it's just like they're kind of aware what's trying to flower in us, she said. A flower. Did somebody also have to make the flower arrangements for the church or something? Is that somebody? She's talking about flower displays here.
My sister does. I think she did I think she had something to do with some flowers for my nan.
Okay. Because she's talking about flower displays and was very skilled with flower displays.
Yes.
Is your sister on the spirit side or still with us?
No, she's very much with me, very, very close.
Okay, because I'm just seeing this artistic side coming out that you both enjoy. And so she's perhaps wanting to extend her love to her as well.
Yes,
because, I mean, it's been difficult for her losing people. And she's lost a lot of people in her life, I want to say.
Yeah,
she's particularly lost people around her side of the family and her in-laws and things like that, I feel as well. And there was also a very tragic loss of a young child somewhere going back too, I want to say, that affected the family. It would go back a generation, this one, where there was a little girl that went to spirit, would have been about 4 or 5 years old.
Oh,
Maisie? Does that make sense?
no, I don't know of a child. I know my grandmother had an ectopic pregnancy.
No, it's not
many
that.
decades
It was
ago.
a child that lived to 4 years old. You might remember it later. You put it in the comments
I
later
bet I do.
if it comes to mind.
I will let you
But there was
know.
something that was tragic in the story in that time. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I'm going to finish with you, and I want to say that she's saying to me, you live a very spiritually minded life, and the older you get, the more spiritual you get. And I feel with you, spiritual side of life, you know, I know that Catholicism's important to you, but the whole spirit thing, you're a very open-minded person that is trying to embrace the truth. And she's telling me that keep going with your spiritual work, because that's what matters in life ultimately. And she was quite a spiritually minded lady, I've got to say. And she's giving you a pat on the back, because she says you actually help a lot of people with what you do and what you say to people. You know?
Oh, it's lovely.
She's very, very pleased for you. Okay.
Oh, it's
All
lovely.
right.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you. I'll move on to
Thank
something
you.
different now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Better look at the time. Right, we only got. I won't be able to do any more clairvoyance. No, I don't think, because time's moving on a little bit. I'm going to just leave one that's not for anybody here. It's just a message for somebody that's going to come in later, right? So this is just, I like to leave one message for somebody. It might be for someone now, but if it is, you'll have to put your response in the comments, because we do this little bit of what we call advanced clairvoyance, because sometimes the spirit world can give us a message that's there for someone that's going to come in later on. And strangely enough, I'm seeing it's either a snooker table or it's a billiard table. I can see the green bays of a table, and there were two twins. There's two male twins that used to play snooker together. Right, they were both good snooker players. Now this is a weird one, but you will find that someone will pick this up. Someone will understand this, and this, particularly these advanced clairvoyants, it's important that I give unusual information with this. And I'm being shown two men that were both good at snooker, were twin brothers that used to play snooker together. And they're talking about, they were very, very close to their family and their mother in particular. And funnily enough, they both passed the spirit at a similar time. They had very similar lives. But they got split up later in life, I want to say. One went to one side of the world and another went to another, because I get a feeling one went far away to somewhere like Australia or something like that, and the other stayed, it seems to be, in Europe still. So they want to say that they're back together again as friends again, and they're giving a message out to somebody that's watching this now to say, you'll know who it is because this is such an unusual link, but they're saying, you know, just keep persevering, keep on, because there's been some very, very difficult things around you in your life, and I just want to say that they've been trying to take something away. They might have been trying to repossess a house, but I just feel if you just pay a little bit and you work with it, it won't be taken away, but you've got to pay a little bit. That's what you're saying to me, and there's a real worrying situation around the people that would understand this link at the moment, but you will finally get through it. They've seen it from the spirit world. A similar thing happened to them in life as well, and it's like history repeating itself in the family again. Right, now I'm going to now move on to the final thing of the evening, which is healing again, because I've got a little healing tape to show you in a second. Because I think when we come to a show like this, if we're going to start doing things like clairvoyance like this, we start between us all, you at home and me here, and I can feel it in the room even as we speak, and Jane was feeling the same last time we were on. We feel the energy around us, we feel your energy, and you might also start to feel the energy. We become kind of a bit like a circle, both when we're live and afterwards too. It's a residual energy builds around strangely enough, around a video. Same way like in the I Ching, it becomes alive, it becomes like a living thing, it's residual energy of all those people that have used it, creates some vibrancy around it. And we're creating that now. And we together have a sort of a healing energy too, because this same energy that is used for clairvoyance is also a healing energy. And it can be sent out to absent healing. So it can go to you if you're feeling ill, if you're feeling unwell. You can send this healing to yourself and to others, and to both. It's invincible, this healing. It's ineffable. It's inexhaustible, because we draw it from the divine. We draw it from the cosmos. And this is not something that's in any one religion. It's in all the religions. All the religions of the world understand that there is this spirit that can heal. So I'm going to put up a little video now, and which will be the end of the show. But I'd like you to see, if you can, just sit quietly and listen to it. And even perhaps come back to it and listen to it again if it helps you. And consider afterwards, you don't have to do it straight away, but come back afterwards and type in the name of somebody you'd like that healing to go to. It can be done after we've done it even. Just put that name into the comments of somebody that you would hope that would have the healing energy go out to. And it will go to them. It just helps reinforce it. And also, although obviously, you know, I don't want to be reading comments where you're giving information about people in the spirit world, because that would be cheating if you go back to the comments, for example. But you might want to put a name, a Christian name, of somebody that you would like the remembrance to go out to too. So that next time Jane and I come on live like this, you've already set the seeds for the energy. Just like I am setting the seeds with that advanced clairvoyance, and someone will come in and understand that message later on. So too, by just seeding these things, it helps us to build the bridge between the spirit world. It's a bit like an affirmation in a way. So we're going to conclude the show now just with a short, it's a little bit longer than the normal ones I would do. It'll be about a 5-minute little meditation, but with some imagery and things like that. So sit back and enjoy the energy as we come to the end of the show now. So I'm going to be saying goodbye to you. Jane will be saying goodbye from home, I expect, saying bye from Jane as well then. And the healing energy is going to go out. So we're going to send our healing thoughts out, and we're going to let the healing feel into ourselves. So be nice and relaxed now, and I'll join you in this as we come to the end of the show. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to have a look at that description below so that you can become a patron and help to support the show. Thank you for the patrons that are coming on the videos there. Sorry we can't do everybody, but it's nice to get some of you. Don't forget, come in next week as well. I'll share the link on the Patreon site for you. And thank you for joining. And patrons also, you can also still interact on the chat as well, if you will, as at the same time next time. So thanks for joining us again. Now let's now do the little video at the end, he says with a Jimmy Savile-like voice. Come on, where are we? I'm going to put this one up because Matt won't be able to do this from there. So I've got a file in front of me. Just bear with me a moment. Here we go. And here it is, a healing video. Almost.
As you focus on your breathing, feel your body becoming a little more heavier as it becomes more relaxed, particularly with each exhale. Breathe deeply and enjoy this moment of peace, this moment for just you, where you can relax, be at peace, and find inner healing. So now I'd like you to visualize a beautiful radiant light above your head. This light is filled with pure love and healing energy. See how it streams down from above you and towards you, and feel its warmth and brightness. Feel it enveloping your entire body. Beautiful, clear, divine light. Endless light, inexhaustible. Now imagine that you are now standing in a field of flowers. You're surrounded by a riot of colours and scents. As you breathe deeply, see the flowers beginning to open, and as they do, they reveal their beauty to the world. Each flower represents a different aspect of your being. And as they open, you feel yourself becoming more and more fully alive and present in this moment. As you continue to breathe deeply, see the light expanding beyond you to reach your family and friends. You are filled with healing light, but now so are they. See each of them surrounded by this same beautiful, radiant light. In a beautiful place, a glorious, happy place, with an energy of hope and healing and love. See their faces now in your mind's eye, and feel their love and energy merging with yours as you project the healing that's coming through you to the healing to them. Share in divine healing. Be with the light. There is no illness. It's all gone. You can only see health, light, love, and inexhaustible vitality. Their faces, like yours, are happy and alive. Healing power is flowing to them now. It's a real energy. It's a real life force. Now imagine this light expanding even further. Let the light expand from you all until it encompasses the entire world and all sentient beings. See how it flows into every corner of the globe, bringing healing, bringing love, and bringing peace to all who need it. See the world being healed by universal healing light. In the troubled places of the world, we see flowers of light opening to spread the fragrance of peace and hope. Whoever may join this meditation, we ask that you help to build this light. Together we build on this residual energy. We see the world becoming a better place for all. As you continue to breathe deeply, feel yourself becoming one with this light. Allow yourself to be filled with this healing energy and feel its warmth and brightness washing away any remaining tensions or stress within you. You're feeling alive, you're feeling as you should be. Everything is bathed in divine light, light upon light. All is one, in perfect health and perfect vitality. Harmony is restored. Now visualize a group of healing spirits and angelic beings of light surrounding you. Let them draw close. Let them connect with you. Each one is radiating love and compassion. See them taking your hands or placing their hands on your shoulders, and feel their healing energy flowing into your body. Connect with them. Ask them to reveal themselves to you. Ask them to connect you to your own powers of healing, to help you to heal and be healed. Stay in this place for a few moments. Now see yourself standing on a mountaintop with breathtaking views, stretching out in all directions. The air is fresh and clean, and the sun shines down on you. You feel a sense of calm and peace spreading through your entire being. See the world and all sentient beings being filled with this same light, and see and feel the healing spirits and the angelic beings of light spreading their light and healing and love across the world, healing and transforming all who need it. You are now floating in this sea of light, surrounded by the healing spirits and angelic beings of light, feeling completely at peace and at one with the universe. Allow yourself to fully absorb this healing energy, knowing that it will continue to nourish and support you long after this meditation is over. Absorb the healing. Let yourself be well. Let your body, let your mind, let your soul be in its natural state of perfect harmony and health. Now, when you're ready to return to your day, slowly we can open our eyes again and take a few more breaths, knowing that you can come back to this visualization anytime you need to, and you can feel your connection with the healing energy of the universe, and you can share this energy with your loved ones too, and all sentient beings, and once again be connected with the healing spirits and the angelic beings of light that you've attempted to connect with today. You're drawing them towards yourself. They will always be there for you, ready to help, ready to heal.